Hi Ruth, thank you so much for joining me here today. So please can you tell me a little bit more about Prospect Change and your role?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. So Prospect Change is a consultancy that specialises in PMO. And you may not have heard of PMO, but it stands for Project or Portfolio or Programme Management Office.
Oh, wow.
It's a consultancy that I established with Jen just over 4 years ago now. And we have 3 pillars when it comes to the way that we approach how we work with customers and how we work with our clients. So because we bring what we call the golden thread, and I'll talk about that in more detail shortly, but the golden thread approach to projects and change. And so we work with clients in one of 3 ways. We have a we do it for you, we do it with you, and we show you how to do it.
Brilliant.
So the we do it for you is what we refer to as PMO as a service. So that is very much going into an organisation, getting to the root of the problem that they're experiencing with their projects, and then delivering that solution for them. And then working with them as we transition that over into the permanent structure. Right. So we'll help them with recruitment and onboarding, etc. So that by the time we part ways, it's a very much established set of principles, processes and ways of working that they can own and run and be really proud of. And then the we do it with you is a partnership approach. Right. So often an organisation already has the capability, the function set up, and we will bolster that in terms of capacity and capability in whatever way they need, and we work very much alongside them to do that skills transfer. Right. And then we show you how to do it is our new offering, which is PMO in a box. So it's very much the IKEA model, so they can purchase the entire model and then roll it out within their organisation. So what you have there is 3 ways that we work with organisations that fits every model and every budget ultimately.
And it sounds so bespoke as well. I think you've got the third option, which is from the box, but everything else sounds very bespoke and very handy and very much needed, I think, at the moment. I think you might have already answered this, but what inspired you to create Prospect Change, and what problems were there that you wanted to actually solve?
It's a great question. So I've worked in PMO and change for just over 13 years. It's probably longer. It's probably coming up to about 15 years now. Now I include Prospect Change within that. And I fell into it by accident. Yeah. But PMO is the capability that allows an organisation to connect the investment that they're putting within their projects to a wider strategy for growth within their organisation. So every organisation has a vision, and that vision should be a destination. It should not be an inspirational statement that they stick on the wall. Wow. It should be something that they are aiming for, that will eventually become a reality for them. But to get to that place for vision, they have to understand the journey of change from where they are right now, quantify where we are right now, and what will life look, feel and be like when we are living and breathing in the space of the vision. Brilliant. And what needs to change to go from where we are right now to where we want to be. Yeah. And then you map that journey of change into the form of projects. And that's where your investment comes from. Wow. So you're seeing that return on investment because every project is delivering outcomes that takes you 1 step, 3 steps, 4 steps, sometimes a great leap forward in that journey of change. And so I'm sure you can agree that sounds fabulous. I mean, every organisation needs one.
You're so passionate about it, Ruth. It's amazing.
But what I found really difficult and really frustrating is I would go into an organisation pre-Prospect Change and find that their PMO capability was administrative. It was reporting. Yeah. It was not connecting investment to strategy and investment to direction. And it would frustrate me because I felt like I was doing a substandard job because I knew what PMO could be, and yet I felt restricted all the time within roles. And that's where Prospect Change came from. So I wanted to set up a consultancy that did connect investment to destination. And Jen and I talked about it and found that we had very common ground in that way, and that's where Prospect Change was born from.
That's brilliant. So what types of people or organisations are typically ones that you work with? And we've talked about the challenges, but what are the main sort of challenges that the organisations face before they actually engage with Prospect Change?
So it massively varies. The organisations that will get, I would say, the most from it are those that are just tipping their growth point. So they've gone from being the top end of medium into large. Right. And so they know they have this ambition, they know they have this growth, but they didn't have the luxury to invest at the size that they were in project capability, PMO capability. And so now they risk becoming victims of their own success, because they start to grow and do really well, but suddenly they need brand new systems and new platforms and new ways to engage with their customers, so that they don't become victims of their own success. That needs change. That needs projects. They've not had to invest in that capability and speciality before, and suddenly they've got this great big gap and they don't know how to fill it. So they're a great client for us, because we get to take into that the principles of PMO and show them for the first time what a golden thread looks like from investment through to direction. And we love that. Absolutely love it. Seeing kind of that light bulb moment for people and setting up that function and capability and bringing people on board is amazing. So and then
so tell us a little bit more about the golden thread, because you were going to tell us about the golden thread.
Yes, so the golden thread, that's what we like to call that connection right through from a project to the change that project will deliver, and what that change will deliver in terms of how many steps forward it will be on that strategy for growth and strategy for change. So every time, and this is one of the problems an organisation can have if they don't have that golden thread, because a project starts to fail, because that can happen in the world of projects. Suddenly there's a problem, there's an issue with that project, and so they cut some scope. They throw some more money at it. They let one of the resources go because they can no longer afford that resource, but they bring in some new resources. And in cutting the scope, some of the benefits fall out. And in throwing a little bit more money at it, the business case starts to become imbalanced. And so whilst the intention was good when the project started, when they get to the end, they've delivered less for more money. And at no point is that consideration being looked at as to, well, if we throw more money at this or we cut that scope, what does that do for the outcome that we will get, and how will it impact our wider vision for growth? And so that golden thread connects every deliverable within a project to what that deliverable means to that world of the vision.
Wow.
Another way of explaining it is the air traffic control of change. And we love this analogy, because if you imagine when an aeroplane is taking off, they're only really thinking about their own aeroplane. And their focus is on how to get that plane up in the air safely, how to fly it to the destination safely, and land those passengers safely within their destination. They're not really thinking about the other planes. They don't need to think about the other planes that are around them. And the reason they don't need to worry about them is because the air traffic control is worrying about that. They're looking at what planes need to be at a certain height so they don't crash into another plane. The flight paths exactly within their airspace. What planes maybe need to stay on the runway a little bit longer because there's been a delay. And that's what PMO does. It keeps track of all the different projects within its airspace so that you understand where there might be a dependency and where one project might be impacting another.
Do you know, when you're talking a lot about impact, you're talking a lot about strategy and, these sort of end goals and gains. And I think it's amazing. I think, the whole ethos is really, really there to support businesses to get to that next level and expand, isn't it? Brilliant. So I bet you've got a lot of these, but can you tell us about a transformation or an impact you've seen in people or an organisation that have worked with prospect change? Any success stories you can share?
Yes, absolutely. So I won't name who they are because we do like to keep our clients confidential, but there was an organisation that went through a split. So the vast majority of the organisation was purchased by another. They went through an acquisition, and another part of that organisation remained as was. But when they were acquired and brought into these new owners, that was an investment. The owners had purchased them for a particular reason. So from the moment they purchased them, they had a vision for what they wanted to achieve with that organisation that they had purchased. And therefore, you've got your golden thread that needs establishing because you've got a destination and that organisation needed to take its sub-organisation too. But they didn't have the project capability, and they certainly didn't have the PMO capability in order to connect strategy to change and change to projects, so that every project was taking them closer on the journey of change. And so we went in and set that up for them. And we did it as a bit of a hybrid approach between PMO in a box and PMO partner.
So you sort of merged the two products. Oh wow.
Exactly. So we took PMO in a box and we rolled that out, making some tweaks to the processes so they were absolutely fit for purpose for the organisation, but using our ethos of making change simple. Everything that we create is about making change simple. And we rolled that out within the organisation using a partner model for a period of time so that then we could step away and they had what they needed in order to continue. And it was really powerful when we were able to tell the story and hand almost to them a book, chapter by chapter, to say this is your strategy story, and chapter by chapter you will unlock new projects or deliver new projects that will unlock new change. And as you go through each chapter and deliver each chapter, by the end you will have realised a vision that right now is theory but will become reality for you. And that's so rewarding.
I can imagine.
And then when you see them in the headlines, you're like...
Yeah, because I mean, I bet for you, you can look at an organisation and think, actually, you should be doing this, or you need to change this. And sometimes when you're working in a business, you're not working on your business, are you?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's brilliant. Well, that's fantastic, Ruth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Asha.
Hello.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about your associate work?
So as part of my role at Prospect Change, I manage what we call our associate network, and that's basically a pool of PMO and project professionals from all across the globe. I think we're approaching 70 members now in our associate network.
Fantastic.
And what this network basically does is, as you know, we're quite a small team at Prospect Change, so when we've got a lot of projects to deal with, we like to reach into our associate network and pull out someone who fits the project we're working on, and then they get to work on it. As well as this, they get to mingle amongst themselves, ask each other questions.
So you're building like a network, aren't you?
Yeah, basically, and it's growing really fast, and it's a really nice collaborative space for female professionals.
Fantastic. It sounds amazing. It sounds really brilliant. It's like you're creating a network for professionals, aren't you, to use each other's services.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Hi, Dev.
Hi.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about the Prospect Change Academy?
Hi, the Prospect Change Academy, it actually started with me and Asha. That was the pilot year in 2023.
Wow.
And that was the pilot year. We had 4 weeks of sessions to get to know what PMO is. And then we had a 12-week academy. And over there, we liked the job and we got into it. Eventually, the next year, we like to extend the academy into something bigger and better. So we started shaping the T-level. And we help them deliver T-level industry placement, industry placement sessions and employer set projects. For example, last week they're doing the students are doing employer set project exams, and they've done it because we could help them over the past few months.
Right.
So that's how we help the academy.
So how does the academy work then? They do bring employers in, and where is it based predominantly?
It's predominantly based at Bradford College or outside, maybe to whichever office we demand, or we can go to Great Victoria Hotel to give a more experience of a meeting room.
Fantastic.
So that's where we're mostly based on, and it starts from us, where we are telling them about what project management is, and it's a whole unit into the course. So we help them out with the industry insight. For example, we got Ruth who likes to deliver these sessions too. We also, last year I remember we got some actual PMO experts from the industry. Brilliant. So we had them to give them a bit of an insight how it works out to be into this whole project management world.
And it's so important because there's no point being on a course if you don't know where your destination is.
100%, and we are also focused a lot on soft skills, like the way they sit, to put the quotes hanging around. And this is actually one of the rooms where we mostly do it. This is called the project room. It started at Bradford College because we wanted this partnership to be perfect. We wanted this to be more like, not like a classroom, but more into a project room, how you're going to see it into the real world.
That's brilliant, Dev. Thank you. Ruth, would you like to share anything else with our members? How can they get in touch with you, Prospect Change, with all the brilliant products that you've got? How can they do that?
Thank you. So they can contact us through our website, www.prospectchange.co.uk. All our contact details are on there. Equally, find myself on LinkedIn, Jen, Dev, Asha, and reach out to us at any point. I would say that even if it's just a chat, because strip away the processes and the templates and even the ways of working initially, the most important step for an organisation, especially if they're going through a period of growth, so they're doing really well, they're about to expand, they're bringing on new people, their customer base and their revenue again bigger and bigger, is before even processes, think about the principles that underpin good change.
Brilliant.
So things like assurance and just that golden thread, and making sure they've got that golden thread from project, every piece of investment they have, every project they're investing in, understand your why. What do you need to get out of this? And how will you make sure you get from it what you intended to as you go through delivery and the challenges hit, because they do in projects. But those principles of governance, oversight, strong decision making, effective assurance, excellent communication, tell your team what you're doing and why, so they're bought into the change and can contribute towards it rather than feel threatened by it. Get those principles in place, and then anything that you build out from there will be strong and it will deliver the value, the processes, the templates, the ways of working. As long as those principles are embedded first, the rest will come easy. So even if it's just a chat, we offer a 1 hour free consultation. So if it's just a chat with us to say, help me understand what principles I need to apply to my organisation now as I go through growth, then we are always open to that. So take us up on the offer, I would say, to organisations. And
I'm sure people
don't struggle
will.
alone.
I'm sure people will. I think that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapphire. Lovely to talk to you.